You guys, I'm changing my rear wheel bearing, and the wheel bearing, the inside of it, it stayed on the hub, the inside. You see, like here, it came off, and you can see the ball bearings inside of the old wheel bearing. This shit was bad. As soon as I had it on the hub here, and I pulled it off, it came off, but I had to tug on it to get the wheel bearing out. And then this is what happened. That came out, and this is on the hub. I ended up cutting the spindle a little bit here, but I had to cut it and hit it with a chisel in order to break this loose. So right now I got it loose, but I just wanted to make a video for you guys, showing you guys that this piece that's inside here is pressed on from the factory. So if you're gonna change your rear wheel bearings, you're gonna have to cut this. I use the Dremel. I have a Dremel 4000, and I have some PB Blast on here, and then some Easy Locks, the Dremel Easy Locks, and I bought the Easy Lock base. Easy Lock base. It's so simple. You just push down. You just push down and twist it on, and boom, you're good. With the new connections, so I'm using that. My safety goggles, a hammer, and a chisel. This is a chisel that I use to break this. So once this breaks off, so it's broken already, split, I just pull it off, and then just slide the new bearing on. But in order for me to get to that, I had to take out basically, if you're just gonna change just the wheel bearing, you're not gonna change the brakes and everything, then my advice to you is just take the caliper bracket off, which is gonna be 2 bolts here, 2 17mm bolts right here, 1 and 2, and then pull this caliper bracket off. You just slide that off, and then you know, and then you the rotor's still gonna be here in place. Let me show you guys. The rotor's gonna be here in place. So then you gotta take out the 2 screws that's gonna be in the rotor. So with the 2 screws, to take out the 2 screws, you need everything here. Oh yeah, one of these. It's an impact screwdriver. So you just, the screwdriver bit goes in here, and then you just hit it from the back. Boom, boom, and then it twists out. So you just have the piece here. You hit it with a hammer behind here a couple times, and then you push it in, and you turn it, and the screw comes out. I've never done anything like this before. I mean, I've done cutting of bumpers and things like that, but never metal in order to get something off. But this was what worked it. Yesterday I started it, but I wasn't able to finish it because I didn't have any of these drill bits. So I had to wait till Home Depot to open today to get it done. But as you can see, once I started cutting it at an angle from like this point, so I didn't touch all of this. So I cut it from like an angle here, and then I put the chisel on it, and I hit the chisel with a hammer, and it snapped it. It just broke in half. This piece here, it just broke off and shot across the backyard. What I did was I needed to get closer to this, to the back here, because this piece was it was on. So what I did was I used the bit, and I went a little farther back, and just, you know, got it until I hit, you know, this metal that's right here a little bit. But I was watching it from an angle. I was watching it from an angle on the side. But yeah, that's it. You just take the rotors off. After you take out the 2 screws that I was telling you, you take out the 2 screws, this slides off, and then And then you gotta take the where is it? The axle nut. And you'll see this, like this, when you take off the rotor. So then you, I got an impact gun, so I used it on this one, Craftsman, and it's a 32 millimeter impact socket that I use with a Craftsman corded drill. And like, first I had to use the chisel to knock the groove that's right here. You gotta knock this groove up right here on the side so it won't lock in place on that groove right there. So it won't lock in that groove. So once you hit this up, after you take off the rotor, you hit this up, and then, you know what I'm saying, you could either break a bar, or you can buy one of these impact sockets that I have here. If you have a backyard, you can buy one of these and buy a 32 millimeter socket. This gun, I paid for it like 2 years ago, and I swear this is like the best impact gun that I've ever had. And you can probably get it at Sears for like it's the same one. It's an 8 volt, and you can get it at I think it has 350 foot-pounds of torque. Yeah, 350. So it made quick work of the axle nut. It made quick work of it. So that shit came out like right away. I have a new rotor here from Brake Motive rotors. That's what I use on my car. This is for this side. So after I get everything off, I'll make another video for you guys, showing you guys how to put everything back on. So like I said, you just take this off. Alright, and then once you hit that nut up and you get this loose, the nut loose, the 32, you just unscrew it. Then you slide this hub off. It was a little tight. This middle piece, it was a little tight when I pulled it off, because the inside bearing came out. So I'm gonna pull it off, and then this is what happened. The inside of the bearing came out, the metal piece here, and it came out and it stayed on the hub. So that's why I had to use a Dremel with a metal cutting disc and cut the metal on this, and then use a chisel and hit it with a hammer and snapped it loose, and it broke it loose, because these are pressed on from the factory. I had no idea, but these are pressed on from the factory. So I'm just, letting you guys know, yeah, that it's pressed on from the factory. And yeah, you just, once you cut this with a Dremel, make sure you cut it carefully and look from an angle, because sparks are going to be flying towards you. And then you just slide it off. Once you get it this loose enough to come off, you just slide it off, and then you just slide on a new hub bearing, and that's it. And then you put the lock nut in place on top of it. You torque it to 139 foot, or was it? I think it's 134 or 140. I gotta double check that. Don't take me for granted. Don't take my word, because I'm not too sure. And I have I'll update in the description to let you guys know the torque settings. And then I have a torque wrench here that I'm gonna torque it to. I'm gonna snug it up with the impact gun, and then I'm gonna torque it a little bit more to the torque settings with the torque wrench that I have here. And then let me finish this off, and then I'll have the second part for you guys. Thanks. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.